friends. Welcome to a Basics of Python series by Urdu IT Academy. Today we are going to discuss about for loops. But before that, let's have a look on previous class assignment questions. So our first question is to create a program that continuously asks the user to enter a password until the correct password is entered. And once you have written the correct password, you should print access granted and you should stop the loop. You should stop the program. So here you can see first I have given a correct password. I have created a variable correct password and I have set it the value hello123. Since hello123 is a string, you have to add it inside the double quotes. Okay. Now below that there is a while loop, while true. While true means true is always true, so it's going to be a forever loop. Okay. So inside the while loop, I'm asking the user to enter the password. Password equal to input, enter your password. And whatever the password the user is typing here, you can see it's asking enter your password. So whatever the password the user is typing here, I have written hi321, which will be stored inside the variable password. Okay. Now computer will check if password is equal to the correct password, which is now hello123. That's wrong. So it will be going inside the else and it will print incorrect password. Okay. In the next execution, computer will again go up to check if while condition is still true. True is always true. So it is again asking you to enter the password. Here I have written hello111, which is again wrong. So whenever we are checking password equal to correct password, it will again go wrong. So it will again print, go inside the else block and print incorrect password. Try again. After that, in the next iteration, whenever it is asking you to enter your password, I have written the correct password, which is hello123. So whenever it is checking hello123 equal to hello123, which is true, so it will say print access granted. You can see. After that, I'm adding the break, which will terminate the while loop. I hope it's clear. Now, the next question is to create a program that iterates through the numbers from 1 to 20. So here, you can see I have added a while loop. So before that, I have created a variable number, which is equal to 1, because we need to start the numbers from 1, right? And in the line number 2, you can see while number less than equal to 20. So this while loop is going to iterate from 1 to 20. Okay. Now in the question, they have provided for each number, we need to check if it is a prime number. If it is prime number, we need to skip to next number using the continuous statement. Okay. So here you can see first condition is number less than 20, 1 less than 20 is true. I have created another variable is prime, which is initially true, assuming that the number is prime. Okay. Now we need to check if the number is prime by testing the divisibility, which means I have another variable I, which is starting from 2. While I less than number. Now this is a nested loop because this while loop is inside this while loop. We call it as a nested loop. Okay. So while I less than number, I is now 2, number is now 1. 2 less than 1 is wrong. So here we are going, while loop condition is wrong. So we are directly going to line number 15. We are checking if the number is prime. So we are checking is prime. Is prime means we are simply writing is prime equal to true. That's correct. And number greater than 1. 1 greater than 1 is wrong, right? So again, that if condition is wrong, so we are going to the line number 20 and we are printing the number which is 1. Okay. Now after that, we are incrementing the number to 1 plus 1, 2. Number plus 1, which is now 2. Now again, coming back to the line number 2 to check if the condition is still true. So now the number is 2, 2 less than equal to 20 is correct. So is prime is again true. We are checking we are adding I equal to 2, while 2 less than 2, that is also wrong. So here we are checking if is prime. Is prime means is prime is still true and number greater than 1, 2 is greater than 1, right? So both the conditions are true. In that case, number is incremented to 2 plus 1, 3. Now the value of number is 3 and we are adding the continue. Continue means computer will be directly going up here. Skipping the remaining lines, it's directly going up to check if the while condition is still true. Okay. Now, the next execution 3 less than equal to 20, that's again true. Is prime is also true. We are checking while I is now 2, 2 less than 3. That's true here. 2 less than 3 is correct. Now we are checking if 3 modulus I equal to 0. 3 modulus 2 equal to 0 is wrong. So I is incremented to 3. So again, whenever we are checking 3 less than 3, that's wrong. So we are coming down here. If is prime is true. and number is greater than 1. 3 is greater than 1, so number will be changed to 3 plus 1, 4. And the continue. Continue means again we are skipping the remaining lines and we are here. Now, while 4 less than equal to 20, it's true. Now here is prime is true and we are checking I equal to 2 while I 2 less than 4. That's also true. So coming inside the nested loop, if 4 modulus 2 equal to 0, that's correct. 4 modulus 2 is 0. So now we are changing the value of each prime into false. Okay. After that, the break. Break means we are coming out of the while loop. We are now here. Line number 15. Is prime. If is prime is not true, it's false. So this condition is wrong. Okay. We are coming down here. We are printing the number, which means we are printing 4. After that, number is incremented to 5. Like that, it will iterate through all the numbers up to 20. I hope it's clear. Now, let's start with the for loops in Python. Okay. So just like the while loop, a for loop is used to iterate over a sequence of numbers. Or here the for loop, the speciality of the for loop is that we can iterate the for loop over a sequence like such as a list, a tuple, a dictionary, a set, or a string. Okay. Now below is the syntax for var. Var can be any variable. In iterable can be a list, iterable can be a tuple, it can be a dictionary, it can be a set, it can be a string, anything, or a range of numbers. Okay. Inside the for loop, we have the statements which we need to execute. All right. Let's look on the examples. Before that, here we are going to learn about the for loop, which is looping through a list and which is looping through a string and which is looping through range function. All right. So the first one, looping through items in a list. So you can see this is an example here. I have a list named as colors. Colors is equal to red, green, and blue. So inside the list, we have 3 values, red, green, and blue. In the next line, for x in colors, x is a variable. Remember, for loop in Python, capital letter and small letter, both are different. Both are treated as different, okay? So whenever you're writing the for loop and all, be a little bit careful because if you accidentally write it in the capital letter, it will give you error. Okay. So for x is a variable, x in colors. Colors is a list. Print x. So what happens is that this x will be first at the beginning pointed to the first value in the list, which is red. That's why whenever we are printing x, which will print red. In the next execution, x will be pointing on the next value green. So it will be printing green. In the next execution, x will be pointing to blue. It will print x, which means it will print blue. After that, it's done. Okay, that is the for loop iterating through a list. Now the next example, the for loop iterating through a string. Here you can see for x in hello. Hello is a string. That's why it's in the double quotes. In the next line, print x. So what happens is that the variable x will be pointing on to the first letter in hello, which is H. That's why it is printing H. Next time it will be pointing to the second letter E, then L, then again the next L, then O. So it will be printing each letter at a time. All right. Now the next example, now the next topic, for loop, looping through a range function. Now, the range function, whenever you want to loop through a set of code, a specified number of times, whenever you want to iterate the number of a specified number of times, we can use a range function. Okay. So the range function returns a sequence of numbers starting from 0. If you are not providing the starting number, it will be starting from 0 by default. Okay. And incrementing by 1. So if you are not providing a number to a value to increment, by default, it will be incremented by 1 and it ends at a specified number. All right. So for example, here you can see for x in range 5. Here whenever in the range function, inside the bracket, you have only one parameter, right? So when there is only one parameter, that becomes a limit. Okay. Here we have only one parameter, one value, which is 5. So when there is only one value in the range function, that 5 is treated as a limit. Okay. So starting value will be by default, it will be considered as 0 and it will be automatically incremented by 1. Okay. Up to 5, which means it will be printing from 0 to 4. Okay. The 5 will not be printing, it will only print from 0 to 4. All right. Now let's look on some coding examples. You can see this is our first program. Colors ranging through a looping through a list. You can see the output is red, green, and blue. Suppose I'm adding another value here, maybe pink. Then it will be iterating through those 4 values, red, green, blue, and pink. Okay. Now maybe let's look on the second one, string, right? Suppose for X inside the quotes, I'm writing good morning. Good morning is a string. So this X will be, X can be any letter, okay? Any, just like a variable, you can give any name for the X. Suppose I'm typing I. Sorry, you need a space. Okay. Here also, in that case, it should be I. So here I will be pointing to the first letter in the first execution, which is G. Then in the next execution, O, like that. It will point iterating through each letter in the good morning. You can see, including the space. All right. Now let's see the range function. So here, for I in range, inside the bracket, maybe I'm typing 5. You can see the output will be 0 to 4, starting from 0. By default, it will start from 0 and it will be incremented by 1. Okay, in the first section, I is 0. Next section, I will be 0 plus 1. The next section, it will be 1 plus 1, 2. Then it will be 2 plus 1, 3. Then it will be 3 plus 1, 4, like that. Okay. Suppose I am ranging it to up to 10. If it is up to 10, which means it will be printing from 0 to 9, as you can see. Any number, okay, you can specify any number. Suppose I'm adding up to 100. So whenever I am clicking the run button, you can see starting from 0 up to 99, it will be executing. And whenever I becomes 100, it will stop. Okay. That is when there is only one value in the limit. I mean, inside the parameter of the range function. Suppose I want to, by default, you can see it will be always starting from 0, right? Suppose I want to print the numbers from 1 to 10. So if you want to print numbers from 1 to 10, here, inside the bracket, you need to have 2 parameters. Starting number, it can be any number. Okay, starting number 1 up to maybe 10. You can see now it will be starting from 1 to 9. 10 will not be included. If you want to add 10, maybe you can just simply try 11 also. It will work. Now it will be printing from 1 to 10. Okay. Here, maybe I'm going to do one more change. I'm going to ask the user to enter the starting number and enter the limit. Okay. So maybe I'm creating a variable start equal to int input enter starting number. After that, I'm going to create another variable limit equal to enter limit. Okay. So here inside the for loop, I need to start from the variable start because the user is going to enter the starting number here, right? And we are going to store it inside the variable start. Up to limit because the user is we are asking the user to enter the limit and it will be stored inside the variable limit, right? So we are adding start comma limit. You can see here it's asking the starting number. Maybe I'm typing 5. The limit I'm typing 13. You can see it is going to print 5 to 12. 13 will be ignored. Okay. Now suppose if you want to print 13 also, I mean including the limit, then what you can do now here you can add start comma limit plus 1. So it will be executing from starting number up to limit plus 1. If the limit is 12, it will be 12 plus 1, 13. If the limit is 10, it will be 10 plus 1, 11. So you can see I'm starting from 3 up to 9. You can see it's including 3 to 9. Clear? All right. So now here you can see I have two values, right? First one is a starting number, second one is a limit. Suppose here, whenever we are adding, you can see it's incrementing by default 1. 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 1, 6. It is always incremented by 1. Suppose I wanted to increment by any other number. In that case, what you can do is that, okay, maybe I'm erasing this one also. And here I'm just typing starting from 1 up to maybe 50. I want to increment it by maybe maybe starting from 0. Starting from 0 up to 50, I want to execute. Now, each execution, I want to increment the value of I by 5. Then we can add a third parameter 5. Remember, we can have maximum 3 parameters inside the for loop. When there is only one parameter 50, this 50 is a limit. I will be starting from by default 0 up to 50. It will be incremented by 1, which means it will be printing like this. You can see starting from 0, 1, 2, 3 up to 49, it will be printing. Okay, maybe I'm changing it to 51. In that case, it will be printing up to 50. Okay, up to 50 it is printing. Okay, now suppose we can add two values, right, inside the parameter. So maybe I'm adding the starting value 0, 0, 51. Okay, by default it will be starting. Maybe I'm changing it to 5. So you can see here whenever we are running, it will be starting from 5. See, starting from 5 up to 50. Okay, now we can have three parameters. The third one becomes a incrementing or decrementing value. Suppose here I am adding 5, which means in the first execution, I will be 5. Next execution, I will be 5 plus this 5, 10. Then I will be 10 plus 5, 15. Then I will be 20, then 25. Up to 50, it will print. See? 5 to 50. Clear? I hope it's clear. Now let's do one thing. Let's same way we can print the table of 3 also. Okay, I mean any number. Suppose I want to print the table of 3. Maybe I'm adding 3 up to 31 incremented by 3. You can see it's printing numbers from 3 to 30. 3, 6, 9 like that. Okay. Now let's create a program to print the even numbers. Even numbers maybe from 2 to a limit. Okay. 2 to any particular limit. So I'm adding first, we are starting from 2 up to a limit, right? So obviously, if it is a limit, we need to ask the user to enter the limit. Okay. Limit equal to int input, enter the limit. In the next line, let's start it from 2, okay? For loop. So for maybe, you can give any variable. It's even number, right? So I'm typing E. E in range. Inside the bracket, starting number, I'm directly typing 2. If you want, you can ask the user also, okay? 2 to limit. Maybe I'm adding limit. Yeah, limit. Then incrementing value. Even numbers means starting number is 2. Second number should be 4, right? Which means we need to add it by 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. So I'm adding 2 here. So you can see whenever we are running it. Yeah, sorry, there is an syntax error you can see. Because it's not completed. Syntax error. So here at the end of the for loop, we need to add a colon. In the next line, let's run it again. Let's see what error it's come. Syntax error, unexpected end of file because it's not completed. So I'm adding a print E. E is a variable now. So whenever we are running it, you can see enter the limit. Maybe I'm typing 21. You can see it's printing even numbers from 2 to 20. All right. I hope it's clear. Now, one last thing. Suppose you want to print it in the reverse order. Okay. Maybe you want to print numbers from 10 to 1. Okay. Reverse order. Which means 10 to 1 you have to print. How can we do that? Normal thing for maybe I in range. Inside the bracket, you need to specify the starting number. So if you want to print from 10, 9, 8 like that, starting number is obviously 10, right? Now the limit can be 0 because up to 1 only we need to print. So we can add 0. Now the second number, the third parameter, incrementing or decrementing value. So here we need to go in the reverse order, right? Because if you are adding 1 means it will be, I will be keep on adding, 10 will be changed to 11, 12 like that. So it won't work. So if you want to go to the reverse order, it should be -1. -1 will tell the computer that it should print in the reverse. So I'm printing I. Okay, let's see. You can see it's printing from 10 to 1. I hope it's clear. All right. Now, let me give you few example questions. I'm sorry, assignment questions so that you can practice. 2 assignment questions are there. First one is to create a program to print odd numbers up to a limit. Okay. So you can start it from 1. You can start the for loop from 1 and up to a limit. So you have to ask the user to enter the limit. Up to that limit, you need to print the odd numbers. Okay. Now the second question is to create a program to print multiplication table of given number. So in this example, I have told you how we can print the multiplication table of 5 or 10, 3, any number. But here we have no idea which number it could be. Okay, so you can add a for loop. So you have to ask the user to enter a number and you have to create a for loop to print table of that particular number. So it's a little tricky, but you can try. Okay, let's discuss the answers in the next class, and all the codes I have showed you in this video series, you can access it from Urdu IT Academy's GitHub page. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Happy learning. Bye.